Hello, friends. Welcome back again to One Stage at a Time. Today on the program, we're playing through Labyrinth Zone, Act 2 for Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Game Gear. I, as always, am your host, Andy, and joining me, as always, my co-host, Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Andy. We're lost in the labyrinth, baby.
That's right. Yeah, we're lost in the labyrinth. Yes, this is another exciting episode of Sonic for the Game Gear. Mm-hmm. Aaron, have you gotten sick of Sonic for the Game Gear yet?
I have not, surprisingly. Like, we'll get into it, but a little like this is pushing it. But
it's pushing it. That's a good way to put it.
But no, I have not gotten sick of Sonic for the Game Gear. I still think it's a pretty fine game.
Yeah, I agree. It's on thin ice, but I think I'm willing to overlook it and move forward and hope that what comes next is better.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yes, Labyrinth Zone Act 2, continuing the theme of Labyrinth Zone Act 1. Let's get right into it. What did you think of Labyrinth Zone Act 2?
I would say that it's probably the first real misstep in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so like I've praised this game thus far because
you've been effusive about this game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm still enjoying it. But this level's definitely a misstep. It's got to the I've really heaped praise upon this game because of the differentiations between the acts. Act 1 and 2 is usually pretty different for the levels so far.
That's true. Yeah, there has been some good differentiation.
Yeah, Labyrinth Zone just throws it right out the window. Like, it's really not very much different between Act 1 and Act 2 at all. And
it's really not.
It was disappointing, and maybe it's my own expectations painting it some, but this game has set the standard for that. And also, the whole thing's underwater. So like underwater levels suck. Almost it's a video game rule, basically.
They really do. And they're all bad.
Yeah, and we can get into the nitty-gritty in a little bit, but on the whole, I just think that this level is a misstep for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably the weakest level so far, which is not to say it's like a terrible level, but it's just not a lot of fun to play.
Right, yes.
I really hate how slow you move in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're swimming through molasses. You have no speed, and speed is like the whole central thing about Sonic. Like a little bit of underwater is okay, but this is really pushing it. You slow down so much. Your jumping is really janky, and then of course the drowning mechanic.
It was bad in this level. Like, I can usually handle the drowning mechanic pretty well in Sonic games, but this one had it cutting close every few, like, the bubbles were so few and far in between that it was frustrating as all get out.
Yeah, like in the Genesis version, sometimes you'd be like, I'm just going to go. I think I can skip these bubbles and just jam and try to get to the next one. But in this, I was stopping for every single bubble, no matter how long it had been.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. You can't not. If you ever skip one, you lose. You will lose hard. Like you will fall
lose hard.
You will fall very short of the next set of bubbles, and you're dead. And you're dead. There's no way around it. So like, on the one hand, like I sort of respect it for that in a weird way. Like
it's unforgiving.
Yeah, it's a little unforgiving. It's challenging between the bubbles, but at the same time, like, it's kind of just this weird arbitrary, like, not arbitrary because it's clearly planned, but it's just this thing that it's just this. It's like if you fuck up a little teeny tiny bit, then you're dead.
Yeah, it's so precise. It's designed to be that way.
Yeah.
It feels like you were saying, Labyrinth Zone Act 1, there's not a lot of differentiation in terms of design. Like, for example, like in Green Hill Zone, Act 2 was underground. In Bridge Zone, Act 2 was an auto-scroller. In Jungle Zone, Act 2 was vertical instead of horizontal. But in Labyrinth Zone, it's more or less the same thing. It's you start out of the water, you go underwater, and then at the end you come out of the water again. Except it's just a little bit trickier and more frustrating than Act 1.
which isn't like, it doesn't make it bad, but like they set this standard for us that I was expecting and looking forward to, and then they didn't meet it, so it's their own fault.
You blew it, Yuzo Koshiro.
You fucked it up, man. Big
you
time.
You blew it. You done goofed.
Yeah. But again, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Yuzo didn't blow it in one respect, which is the music for this stage, which remains pretty good.
This was a kind of a redeeming moment for them, because we've talked a lot about how the music's good but doesn't seem to really fit the stage.
Yeah. It feels like it feels like a Streets of Rage track. Like you should be beating up a punker with a mohawk in the back of an arcade while you're hearing this music.
Yeah. Sonic's getting ahead of us there.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. We were watching a playback here and we got a little too far ahead.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
Aaron, would it interest you to know that there are quite a few differences between, at least one significant difference in the Master System version of this stage?
I would be interested to see that.
Well, we'll find out right now. I'm privy to some of this information already, but I'm curious to see how Aaron reacts to it.
I am intrigued. But while that's starting to play, the music was great. The music was great. It fit. We didn't talk about it last episode for Labyrinth Zone Act 1, but the music for this one, I think, finally redeemed it, because it had been just abysmally misappropriated, or what's the word I'm looking for? Mismatched to the levels. So it was nice to have it fit the tone.
Yeah, it feels like it more fitting for this than some of the previous ones have. Like the Jungle Zone theme especially really stands out, and Robotnik's theme, it just seems totally inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting like it feels like you're fighting a cartoon seal, that's like bouncing at you and going oh.
That's a really interesting way. Yeah, I see it. I hear you.
That's the impression I get when I hear that music.
Did you go for the rings at the beginning of the level? Off the slide, the rings and the shield?
I always go for the rings, baby.
You always go for the rings.
Go big or go home. All right, here's the difference, Aaron. In the Master System version, you have Orbinaut, or at least I think that's what the name of that enemy is. The orb guy with two googly eyes who has the spikes floating around him that slowly get thrown at you.
Yeah.
He's shown up a lot in Sonic games. He's like a staple villain.
Yes. Yeah. And I love the variations of him. It's not always just the same sort of like, sometimes he's coming at you and he's floating and then he starts spinning them crazily. And sometimes, I really enjoy that. He has
different evolutions.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on which stone you give him.
Exactly. You touch the water stone, you get the slow urchin one. You touch the fire stone, everything's on fire. That guy wasn't in the Act 2.
I think he was. So that was one of the fish, the chomps. But
I remember the grounders.
They look different. Maybe not. I mean, I feel like he was, but
he probably
maybe not. But he's definitely in Act 1.
Yes, I remember him in Act 1.
And the grounders, actually, they're called burrowbots canonically, but we call them grounders.
They'll always be grounders to me. There's no way. You can't teach this old dog any new names.
Can you do Grounders Laugh from the cartoon show?
I could if I remembered it. No, I don't.
It goes something like this. Ha 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 ha.
Really? That doesn't even ring any bells for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, like that's his trademark laugh.
Huh. I remember Scratch's laugh.
Do Scratch's laugh.
Scratch's laugh. It was like a ha-ha or something like that, wasn't it?
I actually don't remember. You remember Scratch's laugh and I remember Grounder's laugh.
I'm probably remembering it all wrong. Let's not even.
put us together and we remember 100% of that show.
100%.
We each remember only 50%.
Or at least of their laughs.
Yeah, of the henchman's laughs. The side
very
characters.
Important. It's a very important thing to remember.
Well, of course, the Master System version has a much higher resolution, which it's weird because the graphics kind of aren't as good in a way. Like Sonic's model is less detailed, but they're cleaner and the resolution is a lot better. So you can see more of the screen, which I don't know. I feel like in a way makes it more tolerable. You have a better idea of what's coming up next.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see more of the screen, but it's one of the frustrations that I had with Donkey Kong, like such a small frame for like, and especially us, we're so spoiled nowadays. We got all the widescreen HD shit going on.
Yeah.
Like this like caveman video games here.
It's Baby Town Frolics.
Okay. I don't know that. I don't get it.
Oh, it just means like it's really simple, simplistic.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
I think that was an Archer quote. I think that's where I first heard that phrase.
I need to do a rewatch of Archer. I don't have Hulu though. I don't have Hulu. They need to put it on Netflix.
I'm way behind on Archer. I remember watching those first 2 seasons like over and over. But yeah, I've made like a billion seasons of that now.
Yeah, there's so many, and they've come so far from what they were. They,
the last one I watched was the season where they just start dealing drugs.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Oh, that's a big change. Okay.
Yeah, that's something different.
So before we get to, so we just saw the Master System Chaos Emerald. That's really interesting. So in the Game Gear version, this was the easiest or Chaos Emerald to find, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Easily.
It's just sitting there waiting for you.
It's just sitting there. It's not even off the beaten path at all. It's just there.
It's like a little consolation. The game designers were like, look, we know this stage was bad. we know. We're just, to make up for it, here's a Chaos Emerald.
And I got it, and I feel a little dirty about it just because it was so easy. But this... Sorry, in the Master System version, you got to be tricky. You gotta really be on your game. You have to get an invincible that's earlier on in the level there, because the Chaos Emerald is embedded within fucking spikes. How cool is that?
Yeah, they put some goddamn spikes all over the Chaos Emerald. Robotnik's finally wising up. He's like, oh, this guy Sonic, he wants these little trinkets. So
he can kill me.
Instead of leaving them out in the open, what if I just put them inside a hazard where he can't even get to them?
It's brilliant. Robotnik's a genius.
It's like, why doesn't Dr. Wily just make robots out of spikes? And Mega Man could never defeat them.
just or those little helmet guys, just a rolling ball of those helmet guys rolling at Mega Man. Yeah,
the Metool.
Yeah. No, that's really clever and pretty evil, Robotnik. Pretty evil, Robotnik. Yeah, I like it though.
Cool.
I like it. I enjoy that.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's so you have to get the invincibility shield and then go pretty fast to get to where the spikes are before the shield would run out. I'm not sure if you could just tank the hit and grab it that way. I feel like you probably could, but that would be a dangerous play. Because there's still a little more of the stage to complete after that.
It would be a very dangerous play. And is the Master System like the Game Gear in that you can't pick up your rings?
I believe that's true. Although I'm playing on the Game Gear version, so I'm certainly not an expert on the Master System version.
Yeah. God, this was a harrowing level, but it was slow.
It's so slow. It reminded me of, I don't know, you probably haven't played it, but Mega Man Legends 2 for the PlayStation 1, there's a underwater dungeon that is just the slowest thing you can imagine. It's just not fun to play. Every room takes like 5 minutes to walk through just because it's so slow.
Every water level sucks. Like in almost every game, like I think the like exception for me is like the Earthworm Jim one, just because it's it's whatever. I just happen to like it, but I get it because everybody else thinks that one sucks. So like I just like the Water Temple from Legend of Zelda. That
one's not too bad.
Ocarina of Time. Everybody hates it, dude.
Everybody hates it, but I think it's an irrational hatred. I think it's actually a pretty good dungeon.
I mean, I think it's pretty good too, but people hate it. People hate water levels. Like they just do. I mean, and it's I don't know why keeps happening? Why does this keep happening to us?
One water level that I do like is Meridia from Super Metroid, because when you first go there, like the first time you can go there, you don't move very well through the water, but you return with the gravity suit that lets you move freely through the water, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, it's always nice coming back to those earlier stages with God mode on.
Let's see. One thing I wanted to point out graphically about the 8-bit version of Labyrinth Zone is the background. It's like blue bricks, but they make kind of like they make it seem like there's a curvature to them. See what I mean? Like it looks almost like you're in like a round room or like a cylindrical room. The bricks on the sides are shaded in such a way to make them seem like they're curving around.
See, now to me, it almost looks more like they're sticking out.
No, they're curving. It's like we're in a facility with lots of really rounded areas. It kind of reminds me of like Hydro City Zone from Sonic 3.
Hydrocity Zone.
Pardon me, Hydrocity Zone.
No, I think it's Hydro City. I don't know, but okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. I think that it still seems to me like they're sticking out some, and like the main wall is recessed so far back that it's in like the murky depths, and that's why it's deep blue, and you can't really see the bricks or anything. But then you got the lighter shaded bricks sticking out some, like it's warped. It is sort of rounded, but it's more warped and it's like bending in and stuff. It's cool. I like it. It's very cool.
So you see it as more convex than concave?
Yeah.
Nah. I like my way better. Very different from the background of Labyrinth Zone for the Genesis. Labyrinth Zone for the 8-bit has the same tiles like that you're walking on, or well, they look similar at least. Mm-hmm. But the background is completely different. Let's look a little bit at the classic Labyrinth Zone for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, there it is.
I miss it. I miss it.
Gosh, it looks so good.
Yeah,
so good.
It's so pretty, man. But yeah, the background for this one is like all these blocky things, like weird artwork of like pig-like creatures and squid-like creatures,
which is in the 8-bit version.
Yeah, but not
like it's in the tiles that you stand on, not the background. But
right. Just a lot more going on in Labyrinth Zone too. There's like these little elevators that you ride around on. Lots of those Orbinauts with the spikies.
Yeah, they're launching them at you at top speed too in the 16-bit version.
Yeah, they're not screwing around. They're out for blood.
Gosh, this level's so hard.
It really is.
Like just watching this person play in this video, it's like, woo! They were throwing it all at you. Everything in the kitchen sink, man.
And yet I feel like it's a much better stage. Like I feel like where Sonic 8-bit has the most missteps is when it tries to copy the stages from the original. Because like the best part of Green Hill Zone for the 8-bit version is the second act that just kind of completely diverges from like the classic Sega Genesis Green Hill Zone with like the whole underground, like with like waterfalls and little pools underground. That whole theme to it. But yeah, Labyrinth Zone for the 8-bit, I feel like is just a little too close to the original Labyrinth Zone, but it's like an inferior copy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. like it's when they try to. I assume that it's the. It's weird because this is obviously for people who are familiar enough, at least with the 16-bit version. It's like, yeah, this is the 8-bit version of it. See, we got that too. We got Labyrinth Zone. We got Green Hill Zone. But if they actually have played the 8-bit version or the 16-bit version, then they know that this is crap comparatively. and like Green Hill Zone is the same way. Like, you take it by itself. You play the level in the 8-bit version, you're like, this is fine, it's kind of fun. But you play the 16-bit version, you see the differences, and you're like, oh, This is way better. There are loop-de-loops. What the fuck?
Yo, what the fuck? Sonic's going around loop-de-loops.
And this one, like, there's so much more going on, so much more excitement in the 16-bit version of Labyrinth Zone than in
yeah. You're in and out of the water so much more. There's like hidden secrets to find, like walls you can pass through. There's those chambers where you get sucked along with the current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a damn good level as opposed to just it's pretty good. It's fine.
Yeah, as frustrating as Labyrinth Zone can be, it's a really well-designed level. There's like lots of interesting stuff going on. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel completely unfair. I mean,
no,
there's traps, but it's not like La Mulana, you know? It's not just going to kill you.
It's challenging, but it's not like, it's not impossibly hard. It's just a good level. You want to play it now.
Dude, I know. I was playing it earlier on my Switch. I was like, you know what? I want to bust out like the real deal, the OG.
Your Switch version with the spin dash.
Yeah, with the spin dash.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man.
you can disable it, you know, if you're a purist.
Do you disable it?
Hell no. Hell no.
It's like, that's way too slow. I ain't about that slow shit.
It makes the game so much better.
I mean, if by better you mean easier.
That's exactly what I mean.
Mister, I'm going to play Doom on Insane or whatever.
Well, that's just like
that's pussy shit.
No. See, because that's for research for the viewers and listeners at home.
When you're playing by yourself, you always play on the easiest difficulty, no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Because I like to win when I play video games.
Well, you know what? I win even without the spin dash. Just saying.
Oh, my name's Aaron. I'm good at video games.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing.
Well, that's as maybe, but let's see. Aaron, what do you say we do a little bit of lore corner for today? Do we have some time for that?
Yeah, I think we should. Before we do that, I want to do a couple little things about this level. Just this one thing happened. I got a bubble at one point I was jumping into the bubble, so I was on the up jump, and it rocketed me up in the air or up in the water, like really high, and I was like, "Whoa, that was weird."
Huh.
Yeah, it was just a fun little glitch that happened to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna jot that down and share it because that shouldn't happen."
Thanks for sharing.
It wasn't a bad thing or a good thing, but it was a thing. And this is like, again, it's not a bad. Just final thoughts. This is certainly not a bad zone or bad stage, bad act. This is certainly not a bad act, but it wasn't up to what I was expecting or hoping. It was a little too reliant on the drowning mechanic to make it give it some faux excitement and tension. And I hope that the next level redeems the game, because this was definitely a low point for me.
Well, in the next stage, we'll be facing off again with our good friend Ivo Robotnik, a.k.a. Ovi Kintober, a.k.a. Julian Robotnik, a.k.a. Dr. Eggman. He's got so many aliases.
He does.
So we'll see if that climactic battle can possibly, redeem this mediocre stage. And then after that, we've got a whole new zone coming up. So we'll be excited to see if that next zone can turn this around. But this is kind of the middle of the game. There's 2 more zones after this. So this does feel like kind of a low point. But we'll see. Maybe we'll go on an upswing from here.
I have faith in the game. Let's turn it around, guys.
Let's turn it around. Aaron, what do you say we go to the lore corner?
Take me to the lower corner, baby. I want to go. Let's go.
So today on the lore corner, let us discuss the Chaos Emeralds. Aaron, what do you and largely the public, what do you know about the Chaos Emeralds?
They're magic rocks that Sonic can get, and then when he gets all 7 of them, he could jump in the air and turn into Supersonic.
That's pretty much right. Yeah. What more do you need to know?
Oh, there's so much more that Sega has thrown in with the Chaos Emeralds so much bullshit just by playing the adventure games. You're like, this is fucking bullshit. Shut up. I don't care.
Yeah, you recently played the adventure games, so you got all that lore just injected into your frontal cortex.
I did. I mean, they started this crap with like Sonic 3. With the Master Emerald, Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, like,
and there's like Emeralds. Hieroglyphics on like that temple of like Eggman fighting Super Sonic.
Yeah, like it was fine when it wasn't like explicitly like, this is the story, let's have flashbacks to Tikal and the bullshit with the dumb echidnas that really doesn't matter at all. It was fine when it was just in the background. You got to keep playing the game, and when it was a good game.
I remember getting stuck forever at that part where you go into the past and you have to like talk to the right echidna to like do like the sequence trigger to move on with the game. But I remember just running around like that basically empty echidna city, just wondering like, what the hell am I supposed to do to keep playing this game?
Yeah. And then in one of them, you had to fucking leave. Like, it sticks you there. And then what you had to do is leave. Like, that was what you had to do. I was so annoyed. I ran around for like 15 minutes, like talking to dumbass echidnas who all said the same stupid thing to me. And I'm glad their civilization got destroyed. Then you just talk to all these echidnas and you're looking for shit. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe I just get the fuck out of here. And you do. And that's what you're supposed to do. And I was so annoyed.
Yeah, that'll do it, man. As we've said in the past about Sonic Adventure, it's not a great game, but still, sadly, one of the better 3D Sonic games.
Yeah.
Well, the Chaos Emeralds, according to the Sonic Wiki, the Chaos Emeralds background is shrouded in mystery, and no one knows where they came from. So there you have it, folks. That's no further investigation required.
Yeah, I think we're done with that. That was a great lore corner. Let's move on.
I think we can probably just move on from that one.
No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fucking Chaos Emeralds.
They seem to be like the Infinity Stones, and that they're just this innate primordial force in the universe. No one can say where they came from, but they possess unlimited power.
But they're also all controlled by the Master Emerald.
Right. Yeah. And then there's the Super Emeralds, right?
Yeah, from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I think they were just for that game. Nobody's seen them or heard of them since.
Yeah. Well, you had to power them up in that temple. Apparently, the Super Emeralds. Apparently, the deal with them is they lie dormant until you complete a bonus stage where you touch blue spheres. Sonic was the first one to figure that out.
Yeah, Sonic's a genius. We all know this.
Yeah. So in the first game, there's only 6 Chaos Emeralds, and they're all green, as opposed to later games where they would be not emerald in color. They look like diamonds, but they're all different colors.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he couldn't turn into Super Sonic in the first game. He didn't have all 7.
He didn't have all 7. He forgot about one.
He was collecting the fake Chaos Emeralds.
Well, I will tell you now the real history of the Chaos Emeralds, which is what Sega doesn't want you to know, which is that they're basically just the Dragonballs from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, think about it. Sonic goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
There's 7 mystical objects that need to be collected. Sega at this time in Japan, Dragon Ball Z would have been the hugest thing around. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, it's one of those things where like, you can't point to a design document at Sega saying like, let's just rip off Dragon Ball Z. But you can see the similarities and you can intuit what was going on there.
Question: can an 8-year-old make a fake Dragon Ball that possesses the same energy as the Dragon Balls? Because Tails fucking does that.
Say more about that.
In Sonic Adventure 2, he makes a fake Chaos Emerald. He's like, and it's got the same energy that the real Chaos Emerald does.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's like, you thought that you could trick me with that fake Chaos Emerald. How did you know it was fake? You just told me. Fucking god damn it, these writers should be shot.
Man, Tails is so useless nowadays. I mean, it was better back then, but he's just gotten more useless over time.
Just keep him as a little keep him as a little sidekick, flies the plane, carries Sonic around sometimes. Like, I don't know why they tried to turn him into this kid genius. Look at Sonic. I made this hyperspace capable ship out of my biplane. What?
Like, I feel like Sonic Adventure is it's not great, but the implementation of Tails in that game is at least like, okay, in the 8-bit series, he was like Sonic, but he could fly. So let's just do that again. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's what I want. It's maybe not the best implementation, but keep giving me that. But then after that, they were like, what if he has a gun?
Yeah, pretty much. I appreciated, like, when I was playing as Tails, that was kind of fun. You do the same levels as Sonic. You have generally the same, you can run fast with using your little tails as a propeller, and then you can also fly, and you find these little circle loop things that you can fly through, and they give you little boosts to the air, and that was fun. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I don't know they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's true. Sega, they're like the writers of the TV series Lost. They tell you they know what they're doing, but you know that they really don't.
Yeah, they're just feeling. But don't worry. Sega's giving them more time to make the next game, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're almost due for one. It's always like, you get some bad from Sega, and then like a good one comes out of nowhere. Like, because Mania was really, really good, and then Forces was pretty mediocre at best.
But Mania wasn't made by Sonic Team. They brought in outsiders to make that game.
That's true. That's Sonic so Team true.
Has you'll go on the Sonic subreddits and all that, and you'll see people, and they'll be saying that this game is good, and this game's actually good, and this game's actually good. Like, there are fans of every single Sonic game under the sun, and there's people who support it. But they're always the minority. The majority, everybody hates every Sonic game.
Yeah, pretty much. The Sonic fan base is the most divisive fan base on the internet.
Quite possibly. Like, I go over to the Doom subreddit because we're playing Doom in our other series, and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, Doom! Yeah, all the Doom games, they're all fucking great. Even Doom 3 is great. It's different, but it's great." And like, the Sonic games, and every other post is like, "This game fucking shit on the floor, didn't it, guy?"
Yeah. It's true, man. Yeah, you just can't please the Sonic fan base. I feel like
if you keep making shit games, you're not going to please them. What's that?
Mania came the closest to pleasing everybody.
Yeah, return to form. It was great.
It's like, it was like, yeah, this is what we wanted.
I'll still just pick it up and play through a few levels because they're just fun, and
it's great.
It's such a tight, well polished game. Oh, it's so good. But of course, Sega was like, no more of that. We're done with that.
No more of that. It was too good. We can't do that again. So here's a little tidbit. In Sonic the Fighters, the arcade fighting game, there are actually 8 Chaos Emeralds. An extra one got tossed in there.
Whoa. What happened to that one?
Unclear.
Is Sonic the Fighters canon?
Unclear.
No, in Sonic, all games are canon and no games are canon.
Well, let me put it this way: it's not canon.
I think that there are rumors that Star Wars is taking a page out of the Sonic playbook and like just going to scrub some of these games out of some of them. Have you heard those rumors?
Oh, which movies are they going to scrub?
There are rumors, and I'm almost certain that it's absolutely not going to happen. That they're just going to scrub the prequel, or not the prequels, the sequels.
Whoa!
Rumors, internet bullshit rumors. I don't think there's anything to substantiate it, but it's doing the rounds this week, and I just thought it was. Every time I saw it, I would roll my eyes. But who knows?
That would be insane.
It would be insane. But they scrub so much of the EU that extended universe, not the conglomeration of countries in Europe.
Look, as long as they don't scrub the Ewok adventure movies, then I can deal with it. Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor are, the top two in that franchise.
You just clutch those Blu-rays, man. Don't ever let them go, because Disney will destroy them, throw them in the fire.
Yeah, there was too much blackface in the Ewok movies.
Oh no,
they got to be scrubbed. You're no longer allowed to watch racist movies and cartoon shows. Yeah. So let's see. You don't always get the Chaos Emeralds in these games. Sometimes different shit shows up that is like basically the Chaos Emeralds, but analogous to them. Like there's time stones in Sonic CD that you get.
Okay.
In Sonic, which one is it? Sonic Blast, or what's the one for the DS? Sonic Rush.
Yeah.
In one of the Sonic Rush games, you meet up with Blaze the Cat, and she has like different stones, the Soul Emeralds from her dimension, because Blaze the Cat is Sonic from another dimension, which makes perfect sense when you think about it. And
doesn't she have fire powers?
Yes. Yeah, and she's a cat. And not a hedgehog.
Like, but do they say like I'm Sonic from, or is it like just like, oh, she's like that dimension's hero, like Sonic?
I think it's they're like the spiritual incarnations of each other, like from another dimension.
Okay, they're so like
Blaze the Cat fulfills like the karmic role that Sonic fulfills in his universe.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. I mean, whatever. The magic rocks. Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah. And the Soul Emeralds are square cut rather than diamond cut.
Yeah.
Or no, here we go. The official jeweler term is brilliant cut, which is like the diamond cut. And then there's emerald cut, which is the square cut. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an emerald, but this is the emerald cut.
Okay, so the Chaos Emeralds really should be cut like this in these weird rectangle square shapes.
Yeah, in the Soul dimension, they cut them in the right way, not the stupid way.
So does she have a super form then? She has a super form.
Yeah, she does have a super form. I think it's like Hyper Blaze, or some shit like that. Let's see here. Surely it says it on this page someplace.
It must. So do you know, while we're looking this up, if she can use the Chaos Emeralds?
I don't think she can. I think it's like those are like their energies are not compatible.
Okay, so Sonic can't use them. Can't use the Soul Stones.
I think that's right. The Soul Emeralds. Burning Blaze. That's her transformation.
All right.
Burning Blaze. Yeah. She can fly. She's invulnerable. She can shoot fireballs. Kind of like Sonic.
She basically turns into like Phoenix, though, like with her fire powers and shit.
Yeah. Exactly. Blaze the Cat. She's like a staple character now.
Yeah.
She's in the comics. I've been reading those IDW comics. She's all over those.
Huh. So so there are so many ridiculously, like, it used to be just Sonic. Just Sonic, and then Tails could do sort of the same thing as Sonic. But now, like, we got all these different heroes in the Sonic universe that are all like Sonic tier capabilities. Like, you got your Sonic, you got your Shadow, you got your Silver. Tails can probably obliterate the world. Blaze Cat. Who?
Jimmerl.
Who's that?
Dude, you don't know who Jimmerl is?
G-Merle?
G-Merle. Jimmerl. He's a robot from Sonic Advance 3. And I think he's in some of those other fucking games too. But he's like an evil robot, a gizoid, but then he becomes good. I think he hangs out with like cream and cheese most of the time. But he's in the comics too.
Okay. So there's a ton of like Sonic level heroes that really should just be able to obliterate Robotnik without any trouble.
Yeah, they really should have no trouble. Why is this a problem?
Why? Yeah.
Like there's this. So what's happening right now in the comics is like there's this virus that Robotnik invents that's like a roboticizing virus that like spreads to any organic life, and it turns creatures into zombots. So like all the
Cable.
I don't get the reference.
Cable from X-Men.
Yeah.
He's got the techno-organic virus.
Okay.
That's why he's got the metal arm. It's slowly turning to metal, but he's like the most powerful psychic in the psychic ever, but he has to use all of his psychic powers to stop it from spreading, so he doesn't like get to use his psychic powers.
I thought he was just a robot man.
No, he's infected with the techno-organic virus. I think. I could be remembering it wrong, but yeah, and it's slowly turning, but he's using his psychic powers all the time to stop it from spreading.
Well,
that's why he's got guns.
Well, anyway, so this virus is like infecting everyone on Mobius, and like Sonic and everyone else are like wasting their time like trying to evacuate all the woodland creatures. And like if you even touch the zombots, you'll get infected too. So they can't fight them unless they're a robot already. Although Sonic gets infected, but if he runs really fast, he can burn off the infection. But they're just like screwing around instead of just like going and kicking Robotnik's ass like they should be. Like
right?
Robotnik has this giant ship where he's like pouring out this goop all over everything. And yeah, they're just like, they're trying to fight the goop instead of just fighting Robotnik himself.
Right? Fucking get in your goddamn biplane, Tails, and drop Sonic the Hedgehog on Robotnik's head and Sonic spin dash it right off him.
Just spin dash that shit.
Like they're fighting a war. Like that's the problem with Sonic the Hedgehog to me, is that like they try and make it serious, but then they still got the kid gloves on and it just comes off as silly. Like,
yeah, that's exactly the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots more problems, but that's one of the problems.
That's one of the many problems. All right. What do you say we wrap it up for today, Aaron?
I think we should. This was fun.
Yes, we dove deep into the lore. You now know about Gemerald and the Soul Emeralds, which is something that I bet you didn't know before, listeners.
I know I didn't.
You might have, but Aaron certainly didn't. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. But we will be back very soon with Labyrinth Zone Act 3, the final stage of Labyrinth Zone, where we will again confront the Mad Doctor himself, Ovi Kentober.
We're doing it right. We're going for Robotnik.
We're going for him, baby. That'll be in about a week's time. You can look for that probably next Sunday after you're listening to this. But please do join us in half a week's time for another exciting episode of Doom from 1993.
Yeah.
We will be continuing to rip and tear.
Fuck yeah.
Aaron, what do you want to say to the folks at home before we sign off today?
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please like and subscribe to our podcast for more One Stage at a Time episodes. We have fun here. Check out onestageatatime.com for all of our things. You can find us on all your favorite platforms. Please follow our socials as well. We post some spicy memes sometimes.
Very spicy.
Yes, and let us know what you think about Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Game Gear or Sonic the Hedgehog lore or anything. Just drop us a line. We love to hear from you. Thank you again for listening. And Andy, give us that sign off, baby.
Save and continue.